Hi everyone, it's Verónica Moreno here, coach and therapist. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about following your purpose and career confidence. This is a very common topic nowadays, and I get asked many questions around how to keep career confidence in this current climate. And especially many people saying, you know what, I realize I don't want to go back to the office. Either because they've been working from home and they realize that they are way happier away from that environment, or because they've been made redundant and maybe at the beginning they thought, well, the natural step for me would be to look for a similar role, but I realized that I don't want to. I realized that I wasn't happy doing what I'm doing. And the thing is that sometimes we get caught in the routine and we don't realize that things are not working for us until we are forced to stop, and it gives us a different perspective. We see things with different perspective and we realize that it wasn't working and that something needs to change. But I understand that there's uncertainty out there, and it can be difficult to stay focused and to make progress on this. So if that feels like you, keep watching, because this video is for you, and I'm gonna be talking about 5 tips to keep career confidence and to find and follow your purpose. So the first one is to embrace change. I made a whole video about embracing change, so I'll probably share the link in case you want to watch it. This is the period of change, and change, because our human nature, we always scared of changes, and we perceive changes as a threat and something to fear. So it's normal to have that resistance. Don't worry if you're feeling that resistance, because it's completely normal. But at the same time, we have to go that period that it's uncomfortable and where there is uncertainty and we don't know what's gonna happen, and we feel like we're shedding all parts of ourselves. It can be uncomfortable, it can be even painful if it's a deep process within yourself, but it's so necessary. Without that, we can't improve, we can't grow. We need to let go of the things that are not working so we can start moving closer towards what we really want to do, and closer to what really makes us happy. So the first tip is, don't see change as a threat, but as an opportunity to grow, and as a period of self-reflection and understanding what's going on. I know it can be scary, but honestly, there's nothing to be scared of. Just push through that period of uncertainty and uncomfort a little bit, and you will see that what's waiting for you, the other side, is always something much better. There's always growth, a new chapter in your life, something that, and you'll realize, oh, it was worth going through that uncomfort and through that uncertainty, because without it, we can't grow and we can't make progress. Second tip is get clarity, get very clear around your motivation and what you want to do. And sometimes we tend to think only logically in terms of what our mind says, and we're always thinking, oh, the logical next step for me in my career is to do this or to do that, or because I have experience in this area, what makes sense for me is to move in that direction. And that's fine, but bear in mind that sometimes our thoughts, our mind, are not going to have our highest interest in mind, because a lot of it is programming, beliefs that we kind of absorbed without realizing from society, from parental figures, from the education system. So, I mean, that's great to listen to it, but also spend some time quieting your mind and be honest with yourself, you know? So to get clarity, it's not only about thinking logically what's the next step. It is about quieting the mind. It's about listening to your heart. It's about spending time on your own, removing all those layers, all those thoughts, all those beliefs, and connecting truly with who you are and what you want to do. And be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself, you're never going to be happy, you're never going to be fulfilled, never. And maybe you think, yeah, but that way, unconsciously we think, yeah, but I need to please everyone, and I need support from my family, from my partner, from everyone. And so be very careful with the I shoulds and the I have tos, because all the I should be doing this, I have to do this, might come from some type of programming or beliefs that we need to reassess. Some of them might be useful, but what I'm saying is pay attention, reassess those beliefs, and be honest with yourself. And this is the time to do it, because change is in the air. It's the moment of change, so flow with it. Because when you're 80, you don't want to be thinking, oh, you know what, I didn't even try. I knew I wanted to do something else, but I stayed in the office just to pay the bills. But I knew I wanted to do something else, and I didn't even try, and now it's too late. And I know this might sound very cliche, but I mean, think about it. Is that what you want to do for the rest of your life? Because if it comes from your true self and from your passion, great. Doesn't mean that everyone needs to change right now, or that everyone who's considering a change has to go through a major change in their lives. But I think it's a great opportunity to be honest with yourself, assess what's going on, and think about what's that motivation, what lights you up, what will motivate you wake up in the morning, what will make you go to bed after a day of work thinking, wow, yeah, it was a tough day, it was a lot of work, but wow, I'm so happy, I feel so fulfilled. I wouldn't have it any other way. Tip number 3 is, once you get clarity around your passion, your motivation, and what's your next step in your career, own it. And this is so important, because when I work with my clients, one of the main fears they have, and I've been through this process myself, so I totally understand what it is about, and they say, oh, but they're going to criticize me, they're going to think I've lost it, that I've gone crazy, that that's not possible, that my idea is so silly. And let me tell you something, all those, when people criticize you, when people tell you that's not possible, you lost it, that's not gonna work, whatever it is, it has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. It's all about their beliefs. It's all about, and we tend to do this. We tend to project our beliefs onto others, and sometimes we don't realize that it's just our own fears, our own frustrations, our own limiting beliefs that we are projecting onto someone else. So if you think, oh, this is what they're going to tell me, or they're going to criticize me, they're going to reject me, they're not going to accept me, this is what they're going to think of me, think that all that has nothing to do with you and your decision. It's all about their beliefs, their fears, their frustrations, and at the end of the day is their opinion. So whatever you want to do, if it's maybe you want to start your own business, maybe you want to change to a different sector, maybe you want to study a different degree, maybe you want to take a year-long break and travel the world to connect with yourself, whatever your decision is, own it, and don't let anyone's advice because normally these messages are camouflaged as advice. Don't let anyone else's opinions stop you from doing what you want. If you think it's great advice, if you think it makes sense, if you think it's reasonable, great. But be very careful about what other people say, because it might not be what you need to hear, and it might not be. You don't need to agree with what they say, even if they are close friends or family of people you want to trust. You are different people and you can have different opinions. Tip number 4 is think about what's stopping you from undertaking that change or to make that decision or to take that next step. What are the stoppers? That's so important, because there's always going to be motivation, something that is so our motivation takes us closer to a goal, but there's always going to be some resistance. And if the motivation is not strong enough, or if the stoppers are very big, we're not going to be able to make that decision, to take that next step, or to achieve our goals. So this resistance here is very important to understand what's holding us back. Is it fear? Is it I don't know, is it lack of resources? If it's fear of what? What's the worst thing that can happen? And how can I deal with it? If it happened, first of all, is it likely to happen? Because most of the time we kind of create scenarios in our head that are not even likely to happen, and that never happen. But if they're likely to happen, what can I do about it? Do I have resources? I'm sure you have resources to deal with anything that comes your way. And it's so important to remind ourselves. So basically remind yourself what you're capable of, what you've done before, what you have achieved before, the difficult situations you've been through before, and you're here and you survive. And through that experience, I'm sure you learned many, many lessons, and you learned many, many resources. And you will learn more, because that's what life is about, right? So make a list of those resources, of those skills, strengths, all the things you learned, all the tools you have, and to overcome those stoppers, So that's number 4. Pay attention to potential stoppers or things that might holding you back. And number 5 and last one is surround yourself with the right people. And this is so important, and it kind of links to what I was saying about other people's opinion. Every time I go to a networking event or to a workshop where I meet other business owners or other successful people, I feel so motivated, so motivated, because I feel I'm not alone. I feel like I'm not the only crazy one who's trying to follow her purpose, and do something that I really believe in. So that gives me motivation. Every time to go to one of those events, I get a motivation boost, and I always learn something from someone. So hanging out with those people, not everyone, I'm not saying everyone is going to be amazing in those in those events, but I'm saying find the people who make you feel motivated, who make you feel empowered, who help you, who support you. Because you can do it on your own, but it's much easier. We are social beings, so we also need support and interaction with others. So it's much easier when we have a group of people, or friends, or colleagues, to be motivated by, or to be supported by, or to learn from, and that's very, very important. Having a role model, someone to learn from. Someone who inspires you, and especially if you're doing something different, if you're changing your career to something very, very different, you're going to need that knowledge and that inspiration. So pay attention to the people you hang out with and the people you're surrounded by, because it's going to have a huge impact on your mindset. That's all from me for today. I hope that was useful, and if you have any questions, just put a comment and I'll be happy to answer. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.